Hello and welcome to Reviews. As always, I'm Plume Noir, and just want to do a quick video this evening. It's really late, although it's technically Saturday. It's a long day for me, but there's two very interesting things that happened with the MCU today, and I just wanted to talk about them a little bit here. First off, this is from Bounding into Comics. There we go. Where the Avengers Endgame trailer, it just dropped, and at the end, we see Captain Marvel. She's in civilian clothes, talking with Thor. He makes a comment about he likes her. But people are upset because Brie Larson is wearing makeup. It's hard to tell from what I'm filming here on my screen. But yeah, she's got a little bit more eyeshadow, kind of smoky eye thing going here. Not quite raccoon eyed, a little bit more blush. Um, yeah, and people are upset. The tweet that Bounding into Comics featured was, "Why is Captain Marvel wearing red lipstick and a full face of makeup in that Avengers Endgame trailer? Carol hasn't been to Earth since the 90s. You think Nat gave her free range on her closet makeup? You think Carol cares about fashion during an imminent battle?" Um, don't they always say that, maybe she's doing it for herself? She hasn't, maybe she hasn't been on Earth all this time. Maybe I don't know, maybe she wants to look nice. We don't know what the context is of how she's, runs into the Avengers here. We know at the end, I'm not gonna give any spoilers away. But we do know that she meets up with the Avengers. She's wearing civilian clothes. I mean, heck, for all we know, she went out on a date with Thor. But I find it really interesting because if you recall, people lost their minds when Wonder Woman came out because one of the trailers, Wonder Woman had her arm up and she did not have shaved arm. She had shaved armpits. She did not have any hair on her armpits. And of course, people complained, why would a race full of Amazons shave their armpits? And even though that dates back to even the Egyptians did it. It was more for sanitary reasons. And everything. You can't make anyone happy. You cannot make anyone happy. They're always saying that, oh, well, you're imposing things on the character. Well, maybe it's the character's choice. Maybe Carol Danvers hasn't been to Earth in a while and felt like she wanted to wear some makeup. And yeah, of all the things to be complaining about, yes, Captain Marvel should not be wearing makeup. Why? Why not? Why not? What's wrong with that? Oh, God, I gotta really put on ad blocker or something. Um, and yeah, could someone please rinse her face off a little? It looks like she used a makeup app on a selfie. And this one tweets right out to the Russo brothers. Captain Marvel is wearing makeup on an official trailer. Why? Why does she need makeup to protect the universe? Um, she's standing there. She's not protecting the universe. She and Thor were both in regular clothes. Why is this such a big deal? It's like at that point, why should she comb? Why is her hair combed? Does she doesn't need to have her hair combed to save the universe? Wouldn't it be better if she had her head shaved? Go back to the short hair. Why does she have long hair? Why aren't they complaining about that? So yeah, it cracks me up because social media, especially Twitter, is a mistake. It really was. It brings out the absolute worst, and it gives the far crazy fringe, and I'm talking both sides here. It gives them a louder voice than the whole vocal minority thing. And we have the companies, of course, they tend to react to what would actually be a very small population of people, that just get upset about the weirdest things. And yeah, but the really interesting, the really good news, I'm going to pop over to the BBC News, is that James Gunn has been rehired to direct the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Now, I will say this. of the Marvel Cinematic movies, the two Guardians of the Galaxy movies have been my favorite. They've had the most heart, the most fun. As someone that grew up on like 70s music, I love the music. I remember in the theater, I wasn't even that crazy to see Guardians, the first one, but I'm like, okay. And I knew people that weren't even, they're not even into the whole superhero genre, and they loved the movie. But I remember sitting in the theater, and Moon Age Daydream comes on, I'm like, it's Bowie, or Cherry Bomb, like, the Runaways, So yeah, it's I love the movies. And when it was announced that Disney was basically firing James Gunn because of tweets from, it was like 2008 to 2011. I think I say it right in the article here. It was about 10 years ago. Okay, they don't say it in this article. But yeah, he made a lot of edgelord tweets, and some of them were pretty crass. I'll be honest. We all like to. I think we all have a little bit of edgelord in us that we try and shock. But you have to remember, this guy, directed Troma films. He did Romeo and Juliet. Of course, there's a certain a certain shock value that has to go along with that. If Marilyn Manson tweets out something shocking, is it really? It's kind of in character. And yeah, he years later, he did apologize for it. It was a different time. He was, everything. But as you know, with today, with the culture war, whatever you want to call it, there is no. And my cat is scratching here. There is no forgiveness. There's. They will go back through your past and will find any stupid thing you did, and it could be something you did many years ago that you wouldn't even do now. But yeah, you see, we gotta fire him. We gotta fire him. He's horrible. Now I can kind of understand Disney's standpoint. They are a family-friendly franchise. Even though James Gunn apologized for it, he did not delete all the tweets. My cat is really trying to get out of here. Nothing on the internet is gone forever. We know that. If he apologized and said, "Okay, I'm going to delete all the tweets," someone would still go and dig up screenshots. They would still go back, archive, and pull them up. There is no winning on this. Someone would have eventually lost their mind about it. However, this was a long time ago. He is the reason why the Guardians did so well. The movies are so good. And like I said, they're my favorite MCU movies. And props off to I always screw up his name. The wrestler guy that plays Drax, Dave Bustelia. I can never say his name, and I know I miffed it up. Yeah, he's basically all but said he wouldn't be in the next movie. If James Gunn was not directing it. And I don't think Disney ever said they were canceling the movie, but they kind of put it on hiatus. They didn't have an announce year for it anymore. But I mean, we knew if they were going to get another director, you don't leave money like that on the table. But all the actors were supporting him, especially Dave, and And I'll be honest, I had said, if James Gunn does not direct the next one, I'm not going to see it. I really have no interest in seeing a non-James Gunn Guardians of the Galaxy. And that, these actors are contractually obligated to be in the movies. So they would have to perform anyway. But given how they felt, well, maybe not all of them, but there would be some underperforming. They wouldn't want to destroy their own career. But this is very interesting timing. Why did Disney turn around on this? So, we know that Captain Marvel has gotten a lot of flack. Everything about it, this mediocre reviews. Like I said, I called it okay. I spent $5 on my ticket. I think I got $5 worth of it. It would be a best as a Netflix rental, even though it won't come to Netflix. It'll go to Disney's streaming service. But yeah, it was okay. Sorry, trying to distract my cat. Um, but the timing of this, with everything going on with Captain Marvel, I know it's done really well. It did really well its opening weekend. There were a ton of showings though. I know my theater had, the Sunday I went, like 21 or 22 showings, something like that. And the showing I was in was only about a third full. But there was room to get into the movie. There was no problem with that. And I've heard that there's been a huge drop off. Now, movies always drop like this. They have a huge drop off after the opening weekend. And sometimes movies can come back in the first place. The original Guardians of the Galaxy did that. It came out and ended up becoming #1. I think it got knocked out by, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, maybe? I think it did. And then it came back up in the first place. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I seem to think that happened. Um, but yeah, the word of mouth on the movie has been, okay. You know, um, Aside from, the various shills on the internet that will shoot you down for anything. But you have to remember, I'm not tying this in with Captain Marvel. Avengers Endgame, the end of the phase 3 of the movies. Where is Marvel going to go from there? I know we have Black Panther coming again. We have Spider-Man. Those 2 sequels are already confirmed. I believe Doctor Strange has been confirmed. But the Avengers, all their contracts are coming up pretty much. We probably won't have Cap or Iron Man, or at least not Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. So what is Marvel's plan after this? Avengers Endgame, we know it's going to do super well. We know that. Everyone is excited to see that. Captain Marvel probably did so well. I went to see it to see how it ties into Avengers Endgame. So we know the next Avengers movie is going to do well. Captain Marvel, I think, did well. The whole Endgame connection, I'm sure, played a big part in why it did so well. But Marvel still needs more franchises. The franchises that'll keep going. What is Phase 4? What's coming after that? Guardians of the Galaxy is a sure hit. And, he was fired back in July. And this is, I'm sure, Disney's way of saying, hey, we're going to try and keep the gravy train going. There is hope. Because there are a lot of people who are kind of salty over Captain Marvel and how that went. And all the claims being made about it. And the funny thing, saying that no female, led superhero movie, even though Wonder Woman was just out a couple years ago and did fantastic. I mean, Marvel just had Ant-Man and the Wasp. Granted, she was co-leading, co-starring, but she was still in the title, co-leading. And it's like they already forgot that. So Disney right now, they need to bring back all the goodwill that they can. There's things like the contracts that are going to be out of their control. When the contracts are over, if Robert Downey Jr. doesn't want to do another Iron Man movie, they can't force him to. And it's going to be a while before they can have another Iron Man, without Robert Downey Jr. The people are not going to accept that. We've been seeing that with the Spider-Man films. They've rebooted. We're up to the 3rd reboot on that. Now, the latest is a lot better, but I think that's because it is tied into the MCU and not off on its own in Sony land. So yeah, I think this is a play by Disney to try and bring back the fans' goodwill. And I'll be honest, I am excited about it. I'm being played, I understand that. But after sitting through Captain Marvel, I feel like, hey, I deserve a little bone thrown my way. So anyway, I just had to comment on these 2 very interesting things, the news-related things for the MCU that happened like on the same day. It's just so fascinating to me. And as you can hear, my voice is cutting out, my cat is scratching, so I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to have another video up tomorrow. I do have a couple comics I picked up this week. Kind of a small week for me, so excuse me. Like I said, my voice is really cutting out. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow.